Hello, and welcome to Total Male Introspective, aka the TMI podcast. I'm Joe,
I'm JC.
Jonesy here. What's up?
and we have a show for you guys. We have a discussion about the Reddit revolution. We will get to that in a little bit, but this past weekend, we had the Super Bowl. So, how could a podcast called Total Male Introspective really live up to their name if we didn't discuss the Super Bowl a little bit? What do you guys think?
I'm okay with this.
You're okay with it?
I thoroughly enjoyed the Super Bowl because my day started off with a prop bet that was hit that the kickoff won't make it back to the back of the end zone and won't be a touchback. So it's a nice little way to start the day. Can't say the same thing about the Kansas City Chiefs though, because man, Patrick Mahomes is godlike, but
Oh yeah.
his team let him down.
Yep.
Oh man, that was it was a rough Super Bowl for KC. Definitely a rough Super Bowl for KC.
I mean that pass that he threw horizontally, no footing at all, and hit him in the face mask, and they dropped it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he was hitting receivers in the face.
Not just the face, in the hands, and the chest. I mean, right before that, everyone talks about that Superman throw. That's what I'm gonna coin it as, the Superman throw. But the pass before that was just as great. Like he's slinging the ball across his body. He's taking drop backs, throwing off the wrong foot across his body for like 60 yards, like it's nothing.
Yeah, it was. He was doing all sorts of crazy stuff. They said he ran 497 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Running for his life because
that's a lot.
Todd Bowles has something for him. Todd Bowles, New York Jets' own head coach, former head coach Todd Bowles had.
You claim Todd Bowles as the New York Jets coach and not the Temple University alumni?
Yeah, he's on. Well, you got two Temple University alums there. You got Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles.
I don't know who Facebook user is, but they say worst Super Bowl ever. Because you didn't give us permission to see your name, I guess, from StreamYard. But yeah, it was pretty rough. It wasn't one of my more recent favorites, that's for sure. It definitely was.
Really, I didn't think it was that. Like, because you know what would have happened if they had scored early to start the fourth quarter. Like everyone would have been like, "Oh my god, this is the comeback that we're waiting for." You know. They didn't, because they didn't lose by that much, I would say. It was just really horrible playing by the skill receivers. And we were talking about this the other day. We were talking about how we're going to find out in a year or two that like all the skill players, went out and partied.
They definitely partied for 10 days. 10 days straight of partying, got to Friday and was like, oh, wait, the Super Bowl Sunday. We should probably practice.
You think so?
They probably pulled a Dennis Rodman.
I don't think Andy Reid would let that fly. He doesn't strike me as the kind of coach. Ooh.
Oh, what you drinking there, brah?
Space.
That's how you get to the multiverse. You got to turn your insides into that can
with sparkling bubbly lime. Anyway, so. Yeah, so the Super Bowl, I can't with Brady, man. Like, it stung less that he's not a Patriot, but it's still like how much more can we take? It's like, Jesus.
I mean, he is really one, if not the greatest, like quarterback of all. Like, he just wins. That's all he does.
He's number one. There's no question anymore. He's number one. He's got to be number one.
Oh, I'm not denying that, but I mean, they give him credit, a lot more credit when the supporting cast falls in around him. You know what I'm saying? Like he showed up, and then everybody else kind of showed up, and the defensive coordinator Todd Bowles and the defense did such a good job that it's hard to be like, oh, Brady won the Super Bowl. He did, but he had a lot of help. It wasn't like he put the team on his back.
The better question is not that is he the greatest quarterback of all time, but is he the greatest football player of all time?
It looked like Jonesy was playing O-line for KC. Ooh, is that a dig?
I don't know. I don't know if that's a dig or if it's a compliment because I'd love to play in the NFL.
Brady demands tongue kisses from his male child. I want to know who this person is. You got to give a StreamYard permission to share your name so we can give credit where credit is due.
Jonesy, I can see Jonesy on the KC line. I mean, back in high school, he was like a New York City turnstile, just letting everyone in.
Oh, man. We're just making fun of Jonesy's football prowess here?
No, he has multiple ones. But, okay, so we talked about Super Bowl. But, what do y'all think about the weekend performance?
I think it was cool. I didn't love it as a halftime show.
I loved it. I thought it was great, but I'm biased because I'm a huge weekend fan.
I thought it was a cool concert footage. If that was a concert, I'd be like, that was great. But
if you didn't know anything about the weekend, it was hard to understand the performance. And because a lot of it came from like his music videos and like the album as a whole is like a story within itself. So it's not really like
if something like a halftime show needs to be explained in detail, though, then you're validating my point. It was a good show, but it wasn't a good halftime show. That's how I'm going to stick with that. It was a great show. Like to follow Shakira and J-Lo with the butt ass extravaganza, and then he's like dark and very like it's just a very different approach, It's like to follow that.
I think at the end of the day, we're never ever going to find the ideal fit that's going to be like that artist that's going to fit for everyone's needs.
Right, like Michael Jackson was that guy. Like Bruno Mars was pretty popular when he did his. I mean,
Bruno Mars was the best of the new age artists, I would say.
Yeah.
Where they didn't have to go back to the 80s and pull
But even when they did that, they brought in Madonna and hers was awful.
I know.
She was just not great.
I mean, I feel like I wish I was old enough to understand how amazing that Michael Jackson performance was.
Yeah, or just how amazing he was in general.
Yeah, I was young. Time, he was the number one by far, not even close, number one artist. Now we got like a whole bunch of different artists. We got a whole bunch of different people that everyone loves, but nobody really loves collectively. Like there's no one person that you can throw up there besides maybe Bruno Mars and be like and hit every single demographic.
True.
I missed that last part because I had to kick my dogs out. Jingling his chains.
No, I was saying that there's no one artist that really can bring everyone together besides maybe Bruno Mars. They can bring all demographics that watch the Super Bowl together. So somebody is always going to get shafted from now on to whoever the halftime show is going to be.
So we're getting our balls busted. You're talking about the halftime show. I thought this was total male perspective. You must have just tuned in after we had spoken about the football part. So we'll go back. You want to go back? Fine. The referees sucked in the first half, man. There was some really bad calls.
They extended maybe two Tom Brady drives that went to that
scored touchdown points.
That should have been either a punt or a field goal. I mean,
that game should have been like 21-9, maybe. Not like the score did not reflect. I hate to say this because it's an excuse, but the refs really took the ball out of Kansas City's hands in the first half. They really did.
Yeah, but Kansas City also played horrendous, so they don't really have a leg to stand on when it comes to the refs.
That's what I mean. The refs didn't help. They definitely didn't help.
In all phases of the game, they had penalties on defense. They were dropping balls. the offensive line couldn't block. They shanked punts, and special teams didn't play great. I mean, all facets of the game, they just played really, really poorly.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was just nothing was going to go their way. You could tell by half that nothing was going to go their way the rest of the day. You were hoping Mahomes was going to pull out the old Patty magic, but it didn't happen. So
yeah. Did y'all have any favorite commercials?
I thought the Wayne's World with Cardi B was a little weird. I was like, it was fun, but it was just so freaking strange. I don't know. There was a couple good ones.
I mean, the one that I was most impressed with was the one that was 5 seconds, the Reddit one.
Ooh, good lead in.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't want to conflict. I don't want to go anymore. Good lead in.
Take it from there, Matt.
So Reddit decided to put their first Super Bowl commercial, and they spent their entire budget on it. Probably an over-exaggeration. But I mean, had to be a majority of their ad budget to go to the Super Bowl. And what they essentially said was that they're proud of the power of the collective getting together and doing something powerful together, which is a great segue into our hot topic today, which is the Reddit revolution. So on January 28th, a stock called GameStop, which is a video game store, brick and mortar video game store that pretty much nobody ever goes to anymore because you can download all your games and get all your systems from.
I still do, but that's
you still what? Go to GameStop?
There's something about physically going in and touching stuff.
Yes, and also I like to have physical copies of the game because if it's the same price, I want to be able to uninstall it and take it, maybe bring it to a friend's house. Like when you have a digital copy, it stays on that one device, and that's that. I like to have the physical copy. You also can sell back for like a few bucks. You can't sell back your digital copies. So
$3 on 60, but we'll get to that. So GameStop is a brick and mortar store that sells video games and other video game like apparel and figurines and stuff like that.
It's kind of like a pop culture store at this point.
Yeah,
they have all the pop culture stuff.
And they're basically getting crushed. They get crushed and they're getting basically run out of business by the general public using Amazon and Best Buy and Walmart and pretty much PlayStation. You can now PlayStation and Xbox. You can download all your games, so you don't even have to leave your house to get them. And so they're absolutely getting crushed and getting run out of business. And so what happened was Wall Street placed a bet on them called a short sell. So what exactly is a short sell? Basically, they're taking the stock and they're borrowing it from one entity and selling it to another entity. And as the stock goes down, you buy back that stock and give it back to the person you borrowed it from. That's essentially what a short sell is. And then you can profit off of the as long as the stock went down, which they're planning on having it go down, you can pocket the difference between when you sold it and when you had to buy it back. Well, this guy on Reddit, this created a group. He created a group not for this specifically. He created a group called WallStreetBets. And I'm going to curse for the first time on our podcast because his name has a curse in it. And his username is deep fucking value. So I can't really get around that. So, but Wall Street.
Just say that for the year 2021, I have not cursed on the show.
Matt, you cut out. I didn't hear his name.
Yeah, you heard it. Anyways, he created this group called WallStreetBets in 2012. The goal was not to target short sellers, but the goal was to talk about stocks. And so that's essentially what he 2.5 million people
WallStreetBets?
I believe he did.
I thought he was just a member. or that kind of used it to orchestrate.
I could be wrong about that. If he does, then
I think he just like was just kind of investing and started noticing the short sales.
Okay. I think he became a prominent member on that site.
I know he's definitely a moderator and he's definitely an admin for the group.
Okay, so maybe he
may have not started it, but
it started the revolution.
So essentially, WallStreetBets has been around for a long time. They built up their members to almost 2 million members of all these people talking about stocks. This one guy decided, hey, GameStop's going out of business, and all of a sudden, and he found a website that gives you all of the short sellers that are happening. And he noticed that the top short sellers for basically most of Wall Street, including dozens of hedge funds, were short selling GameStop. So he decided he's going to execute what's known as a short squeeze. So he got all of his 2.5 million members, well, most of them, to buy up GameStop stock as much as they possibly could. So remember, short selling, they're planning on and they're betting on the price going down. When people start buying a stock, the price goes up. So essentially what they had to do is they bought all these stocks together collectively, and, $500 here, $1,000 there, $5, $10, $20, but times that by 2 million people, it's a lot of money going into this one stock.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that we're missing is the point that you didn't mention was the fact that when he started buying the stock, they were at $4, right? And so then it got up all the way up to $20. So these Wall Street people are trying to get the GameStop stock to go down instead of going up. So they were trying to buy it for like $3, right? But then, they started pumping the stocks, and therefore instead of paying $3, now they have to pay $5. So they're paying $1 more, then $6 more, and so on and so on. And so this is where the whole power of the people came together in order to prevent these hedge fund managers from reaping the benefits. So it's pretty much, if you are going to try to sell this stock at a cheaper value, we're going to raise it. So it's pretty much supply and demand, but in reverse.
Yeah, and in order to cut their losses, so the stock, instead of the stock decreasing, the stock increased. So they were automatically losing money. So the hedge funds, what they tried to do is they tried to buy back all the stock at cheap, but what was in order to cut their losses,
cause the price to go up, right?
So what essentially happened was it made the price go even more up, because now they had to buy back the stock, all the stock that they borrowed, in order to cut their losses. So now it made it go up even further. So now you got 2.5 million people, and you got all the short sellers trying to buy back their stock for cheaper to cut their losses, which made the price go even further up. And it landed, just above $400 per stock. So essentially, they executed what's known as a short squeeze. They found out all these hedge funds were short selling this stock. They pumped it up hardcore, and a lot of people who bought the stock at $4, between $4 and $20, made a boatload of money, a ton of money in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's
deep value.
To think about, so the TFV, his real name is Keith Gill.
Yeah,
and he bought 50,000 shares of GameStop. And one thing that we want to also mention is the fact that the GameStop stock is no longer rising, right? And none of us are professional financial advisors, so I just want to toss that out there. So don't try to sue us for money because we gave you bad advice.
No advice, just information.
Yeah. But as these stocks were growing, over the past week, everyone started getting in, and then people who were able to hop on the wave early pulled out, and so stocks have dipped quite a lot. TFV, he lost $13 million in the past week, and he says he's holding on to his stocks.
But he was up to 48 million in gains.
Yeah, so I mean, he's still up. He's still up millions of dollars, even though he lost 13 million.
Do you think he's going to sell?
At some point, yeah, but I think he's got to wait, because you can tell, when the contracts are up for the short sellers.
Yeah, but that's
public information. He doesn't have to sell until the last contract is up, so he can squeeze the hedge funds as long as he wants to squeeze them.
Right,
because as long as people are holding, the price is going to hold. But if people are selling, the price is going to go down. So as long as and that's one of the things that the Reddit group is talking about, is holding on to those stocks as much as they possibly can. And at this point, it's not even really about the money. It's really about just kind of getting at Wall Street and trying to force them to lose money.
And by the way, if you guys are watching live, chime in, comment. If you know any information about this, feel free to share. If you're in the finance game, feel free to share info. If you bought GameStop and you're holding on to it, or if you sold it and made some money, let us know in the comments. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Did y'all buy any?
No, but I bought AMC.
Yes, I don't have GameStop, but I did buy AMC, which is apparently the next short sell that they're trying to squeeze.
I mean, it's crazy that a movie theater like AMC potentially is going out of business, right? Like, some of our fondest memories are at the movie theater, so it's like one of those things that we never thought would go away. But COVID has done one thing, is to show the fact that these studios don't need the movie theaters in order to make a buck. Just thinking about when Trolls came out for the first time, like, it was, was it $19.99 to rent it, Joe?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like $19.99 to rent it, right? And you were only allowed to watch it once. My kids loved it so much that they wanted to
watch it within 24 hours. I think you could pause it and go back. All right, yeah. All
right, but I mean, your kids were young once at some point, and you know that kids will watch something more than 2 times in 24 hours. So once that 24-hour window was done, like, I had to buy it again.
Oh. you didn't have to buy it again.
Oh no. Okay. You know what it is.
I think JC's kids executed a short squeeze on him.
It's got him with a short squeeze.
Well, yeah, they did run a short squeeze on me, I guess. You're right.
Daddy was buying high. That was it. Daddy's buying high. That's it.
Well, I mean, I think, like, so this was right after I asked y'all, like, about the NVIDIA Shield. And so I was just like, paying $40 again. I'm going to go to the Shield and have fun there.
Yeah, get that Shield, baby.
Yeah. Those of you who don't know, NVIDIA Shield is a great streaming device. We're not sponsored. We just love it.
Yeah. It's like the one Android product that I don't think I could live without.
It blows fire sticks out of the water.
Yeah. But it's like the fact that AMC is potentially in the tank is, like, crazy to think about.
Well, not anymore. Actually, the people buying AMC actually pulled it out of bankruptcy.
Right. Yeah.
Which is fascinating, because now, I didn't even know that we had the ability to do that. You know what I mean? As a collective people, I knew that we could go and I knew that we could go to the movies and support a business in that way. But I didn't realize that we could also buy a stock and save a business as well. That I never thought of that.
And I don't think anybody did. I think that's actually, this is the first time. This is, when we say Reddit revolution, it really is like a revolution of people deciding that if we collectively act, that it works in the business, in the finance.
And that's why they're really not calling it the WallStreetBets revolution. They're calling it the Reddit revolution, for a reason. Because, this could potentially just be the beginning. I mean, we can definitely band together and do a lot of things as long as we're doing it together. I mean, that's not really it is a cliche, but it's totally true.
So Barbara Ann, that's my mom, chimed in with Joe Rick, stepfather, just so everybody has the context.
What's up, Mom?
What's up, Mom and Rick? They said he wouldn't have shorted the stock, GameStop. He would have bought puts. I don't know what that is. So, Mom, feel free to. It's just like I told people on my personal Facebook, I don't know that much about this, and I'm not going to pretend to. We're going to share the information we have because it's a fun topic. But I like, and JC gave the disclaimer. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, please, we are not financial advisors. Do your due diligence. Anytime you're going to buy a stock, we're going to keep saying that so we don't get sued.
Yeah. But also, we are everyman. That was the goal, was to have like an every guy kind of podcast. So we're just sharing the information as people that are getting it in a way that people are getting their information right now. Everyone's listening to what's happening on the internet and getting that info there. So we're sharing what we know, what we found with you guys. And it's the best we can do. We can't make you any money. So,
but if you do make money and you do want to donate to us,
patreon.com.
But with all that's going on, like with Reddit and all these people who are making all these millions of dollars, there's been some really good things that have come out of this. Y'all hear about like the guy out in like Minnesota who took some of the money that he had won and bought like all like little kids at the Children's Hospital of Minnesota, like Nintendo Switches and like toys and stuff like that. So people are getting out of like serious debt because of it. People are buying their parents' cars and buying their parents' homes, and so I mean it's definitely been an uplifting story for some people, and a really crappy time of the past 14 months. And I also think it was hilarious to like turn on the CNBC and watch all of like these multi-millionaire hedge fund managers who are complaining that they're unable to refinance their third beach home, or they can't afford their yacht payment because of the squeeze.
Mm-hmm. It sucks for anybody's life to get messed up, but I'm not that worried about the hedge fund guys.
Pretty sure they're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. It sucks because if I had like 2 yachts and I was paying for my third and I couldn't, I'd be all pissed about it. Like if you're on the other side of the fence, you know what I mean? Like
I don't know about that.
You could probably sell that yacht, bro.
Yeah. Like I'm also the kind of person, if I had $100 million, like I wouldn't have like a 18-bedroom mansion. Also, like I'm good with. What's up?
I said, "Whoa." I don't know you made me think. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I had $100 million.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, why would you want all that land and all that stuff? I mean, I'm good with like an apartment in the city.
I feel like that would be like that would be like a fortress if you had it's not even I feel like it would be like a fortress. It wouldn't even be fun to have that many rooms and in a house, because
moat with an alligator, bro, just one. Or you just get a moat and tell everybody there's an alligator in there, just one. Tell them there's one alligator and let everybody think there's an alligator in the moat. I would do some silly stuff with money, man. Some silly stuff.
Yeah. But speaking of silly stuff though, like the Facebook user who remains anonymous mentioned the doggy coins and the game stonks. So I did jump on some doggy coins.
You got Dogecoin?
Like that's the fact that we're calling it doggy coins though.
Yeah, I like it. That was funny. Whoever Facebook user is.
Dogecoin is really, really crappy. It's a joke coin, and it's made to be pump and dumped, and it's never gonna be a product except for it to be pumped and then sold at the peak, and then bought when it gets low again, then sell when it's high again. I mean, it has no use other than that.
I mean, well, unless you have the power of Elon Musk, who can chime in and then say something about Doji and pump it that way.
I think he just likes messing with people at this point.
I think he's just messing with people too. He bought 1.5 million Bitcoin the other day.
2.1 billion, I think.
In
really
Bitcoin?
That much?
Yeah.
Really that much? I think that I didn't think it was that much, but I know he bought a ton of Bitcoin the other day.
Bitcoin's been good for me this week.
Now Bitcoin's to the moon, as the Wall Street Bets guys would say.
Yeah, where'd that end up today? I mean, it never really ends up. It's not like trading stocks.
Yeah, sorry. 1.5 billion in Bitcoin he bought.
1.5 billion. Okay, that's a
thanks, Elon. You freaking helped me out, buddy. Juice those numbers, man. Pump it up. Pump it up. I got well over $1,000.
Bitcoin
just keeps growing.
Just remember, Bitcoin's not a stock. Bitcoin is a currency. So some people, I mean, most people treat it like a stock, but remember, it's a currency. We should have an episode on a blockchain.
But it does go up in value and in the supply and demand. Like if the more people are buying it, the higher the value is. It does work.
Yeah, of course. Right now it works as a stock, but it's made as a currency, and it's actually better to frame it in your mind as more like Forex, where you're trading between different currencies. So like if Canadians, if Americans bought Canadian dollars and then Canadian dollar increase in value, and then essentially they bought back their
Canadian
dollar.
money isn't real. Stop.
So
it's not a real thing. Canadian money is not a real thing.
Yeah, but
dollar coins.
No, I'm saying when we went for your bachelor party, remember we were treating it like Monopoly money. We were like, this isn't real. This isn't real money. Throwing it around
until you got that Venmo from me. You're like, wait, that wasn't real money though.
I thought this was Monopoly money. So Barbara, my mom, chimed in. Elon will also take Bitcoin in payment for his Tesla cars, which is huge for this.
Yeah,
because that's for adoption. That's what will drive this train is adoption of an acceptance of the currency. The more adopted and accepted it becomes. If we're going to be checking out at Target with the ability to click some Bitcoin over from our phones, that's going to make it more valuable. I mean, it's fantastic to see these alternatives in currency and money making and changing the game for all this financial stuff. Like all of the internet has changed everything, and it continues
It's going to change people's lives because people who don't have access to banking are now basically pretty much their own bank.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's not backed and it's its own standalone currency is freaking fantastic. Which I don't know if people fully understand that, but like you said, we should do a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a cryptocurrency episode in order to go deep into that.
So go back to Reddit. So what else did we have to touch upon? I know.
So the biggest thing that happened, after it exploded, it went up past $400. Most people are buying the stock, GameStop, on this app called Robinhood, and Robinhood is, I guess their whole slogan is to, basically, give people access to stocks that normally don't have access to stocks, which is fine. And it's a great way to do it, except on the back end, they're not always doing the right thing. They've gotten sued a few times, not just this past lawsuit that's coming up that we're going to talk about, but they've gotten sued a few times for not disclosing how they're making money, for taking too much money, for not giving the retail investor the best price for their stocks. And so they've been sued a few times before that. And then now this past 2 weeks, essentially they're getting sued again, because what happened was Robinhood has to answer to some of these hedge funds. So when the retail investor were buying these stocks, they shut down trading of all the stocks that were being talked about on Reddit instantly at once, and then all of a sudden. And then the following week, they let people buy them again, but had a limited capacity depending on what the stock was. So that essentially flattened the cost, decreased the price, and since that happened, they got sued, and people are wondering why they decided to do that. Anybody know why?
JC and I are talking in the private chat. Hold on.
Thanks.
What were you saying?
Oh man. No, so the reason why Robinhood did that is because, a lot of people don't understand that Robinhood has investors as well. They're not an IPO, but they make their money off of these hedge funds. So
didn't they decide that they would rather didn't they decide they'd rather take the federal fines? Because like they did the cost benefit analysis of shutting it down, like they'll just take the federal fines over the amount of money they want.
So what happened was Robinhood has to have a certain amount of money to cover all of these different bets. Because essentially what they're doing is they're allowing people to, when you put money onto Robinhood, you're using your bank. They don't get that money instantly. It takes 3 to 5 days. So, which is another reason why Bitcoin is way better, because it goes there in 10 minutes. So essentially they are taking the money from their pool of money and buying the stock for you until they get your money. So you're basically borrowing money from Robinhood in order to buy the stock. So the SEC allows that, but you have to have a certain amount in reserve in order to do that. So they were getting to the point where their reserves were crashing, where they weren't going to be able to buy the stock anymore because their reserves were being depleted by people getting onto Robinhood, allowing them to instantly trade a stock when they haven't gotten the money from your bank account yet.
Yep. And they also sold people's stocks back without permission. Didn't they liquidate people?
They liquidated some people. They were just doing ridiculous things.
Oh, so many rules. Oh, the legal battles are going to be going on for years with this.
Yes,
this is going to be appealed and blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be a mess. The irony is that the Robinhood got in trouble for shutting down their service when the rich people were losing money to the poor people.
Correct.
Which Robinhood, the story is take from the rich and give to the poor. And they shut it down as soon as some Robinhood stuff started happening.
It's insane.
The irony is not lost. They were like, whoa, the rich people are losing money. The poor people are gaining. Shut it down.
What's going on?
Shut it down. We can't be having this. This isn't how it's supposed to go.
So the other way Robinhood makes money is that they use your data. So now they have all the data from all the retail investors, essentially, and so now they sell that to the hedge funds. And so now, before the stock is bought, the hedge funds know which stocks are going to rise. If that's not insider trading, I don't know what is.
Oh, kind of like our favorite Miss Pelosi.
Oh well.
Buying $1 million.
He just happened to get caught.
Buying $1 million in Tesla the day before Joe Biden announces that they're going all electric for government vehicles. She had no idea. She just clicked it by accident. It was just the accidental $1 million purchase.
Oh, and all the senators that sold all their stocks 2 weeks before the market crashed.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't have any idea what was going on.
No, they didn't know. They didn't know it was coming.
No.
They only got intelligence briefings up the wazoo.
Hey guys, just give me a minute. I'm gonna be over here checking my email. Sell it all.
Speaking of doing all of this, did you know that there's multiple websites where senators have to disclose how much and what stocks they're buying, and you can basically copy them?
Yes, you showed me that. What's it called?
Yeah, I gotta look it up again. But Senator Stock Watch.
Really? Is that because They don't use like campaign finances or something like that?
Yeah, no, they have to Senate Stock Watcher. That's what it's called, Senate Stock Watcher. Essentially, it lead on the SEC website. Senators have to legally, basically, disclose publicly exactly what stocks they're buying at all times in order to not get caught for insider trading. So essentially, you can go to different websites that aggregate this information off the SEC website and make it look good with charts and a whole bunch of stuff. So, like, obviously, Senate Stock Watcher is not in a government website, but they aggregate this information from the government websites. And you can now use this information by copying what the senators are doing, essentially when they do it. So you could be a part of it if you choose to and know where to look.
With my luck, as soon as I started doing that, something bad would happen. They would all crash. The only good, that's not true. I've had some little small investments through Acorns and Stash. I never used Robinhood, but those two I use for stocks, and I can buy little pieces. I don't have to buy full shares and stuff. But they've been rising pretty consistently, I guess. Corporate cannabis.
Oh, Sundial went up huge today.
And I just know that cannabis is the future, and it's going to be recreationally legalized in a ton of places going forward, if not federally. So why not invest in it? I think it's going to make some money. When has a drug ever gone wrong? Financially.
I mean,
you can ask Coca-Cola that.
Well, no. I'm saying financially, drug is usually a pretty good investment. Drug, alcohol.
Okay, so I'm on Senate Stock Watcher right now, and guess which senator sold all their position in GameStop on January 28th.
Who's that?
Patrick Toomey. I think he's. I'm pretty sure he's a senator from, I think, Pennsylvania. I want to say. Yes.
Sold all his.
He sold all his. He sold
why
all
would
his.
He sell it on January 28th. That's right before the boom.
Because he purchased it on January 27th.
Oh, that would explain.
A little pump and dump there for Patrick Toomey.
Oh man, maybe I should be paying closer attention to Senate Stock Watch.
Oh my god!
If you think about it, that's a crazy tool, because these senators and these public servants are paying the top level financial advisors to tell them what to buy and what to sell and when. And if you could, honestly, if you think about it, I don't even know if I want to say this on the air, but if you could create a system that automated your funds, that could automatically directly purchase what a majority of.
I'm sure there's already one.
Yeah, but I don't have it. I want it. I want software that I could just say, here's $5,000. Now finagle that $5,000 however the Senate is working their money, and maybe take an algorithm that collectively takes all of the things that they have, and then it shows you like the action. And if it's heavily being bought, then your system would buy it, and if it's heavily being sold, your system would sell it. I mean, that you could just set $5,000 in 4 years from now, just walk out. I'm sure collectively with a ton of gains. It has to. There's no way.
Yeah.
And you're just piggybacking the financial advisors, and they're not always going to be right. But if it's a collective thing and you're diversified enough, yeah, I know what that means. I have read the "what does this mean" glossary on my trading apps. That's about the extent of it.
The little question mark.
I hit the question mark on my shares. I want to know what's up.
Remember, we are not financial advisors. We are pressing the question mark. Okay, we are not financial advisors.
But wow, could you imagine if you just took $5,000 and were able to automate it in direct correlation with the overall selling and buying of the Senate? I think you'd do okay. I think that's like the house always wins kind of thing. Like,
well, yeah.
Even if you had losses, the gains would well outshine the losses in that department, I would think.
I don't know. Well, while people are making banana bread, you should be making an algorithm.
Yeah, during quarantine. Well, is quarantine over? It's officially over now, right? I don't know anymore.
No, quarantine's not. Well, it's like half quarantine now because you can do some stuff, but you can't do others.
Yeah, that's true. What else we got, fellas? Where were we? Anything else on the Robin Hood? I think they had 30 class action lawsuits at this point over many states.
Yeah. They got a bunch of class action lawsuits. They're going to be defending their lawsuits for the next 10 years, most likely.
But now I feel like these regulations are going to be put in place to avoid this sort of thing happening again. I think you had mentioned that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the regulation that I foresee is not really regulating Reddit and regulating the retail investor, but more regulating short selling. And they'll probably make them like right now you can short sell a stock up to 100%, which means it's just double. So like they'll probably raise that to like 3x. So it'll probably be like 300%. So if you want to short sell it, you have to have like 3 times the reserve in your accounts in order to be able to short sell the stock, so that if something goes wrong like this, then they're
wrong for them, right for everybody else.
Yeah, wrong if something goes wrong for them. And the SEC is they're essentially the goal of the SEC, and it's not exactly what they do all the time, but the goal of the SEC is to kind of just regulate the financial system so we don't go into a depression, and get it like, ridiculous. But
GameStop was shorted 140%.
140%. So a little, double and a half, I guess. So like, they're probably going to raise that to like 3x, probably 300%, 400%. And the SEC is probably going to end up having to regulate that in order to, stop these hedge funders from making these huge bets and not having the cash reserves in order to fight against a bad bet. So, because essentially what's happened was, a lot of these hedge funds, some of them went out of business because they bet a majority of their money on this and they lost a ridiculous amount of money. And so now they have no more money.
Could you imagine being a fly on the wall in some of those offices in like the last week of January when everything started blowing up? Like, literally, your world is on fire. Like, they're just like the amount of panic. They had to have had mental breakdowns. Some of these guys.
Remember the scene in Wolf of Wall Street where they were all panicking and then all of a sudden the market closed and the entire place went silent in the office building?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably kind of like that.
Yeah, where they were just like, wow, we don't have a job anymore or any of our money. Like, some of these guys probably had tons of their own money put in, to the short situation.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure they had. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to spend your own money in the hedge funds as well.
Some of these guys didn't just sell a yacht. Some of these guys, like, flat out, probably lost all their everything.
They probably lost everything. Yeah, you're probably right. There's more than a few that probably lost everything.
Just buckled up the old bootstraps one day, same old, jumped in your Mercedes.
The owners of the hedge funds will be fine. Some of the mid-level guys will be fine, but the people that were at the bottom are definitely not fine.
Yeah, he jumped in his Mercedes, strapped up his shiny black shoes, left his wife and kid at home, was like thinking it was going to be a normal day, picked up his Starbucks, and then bam. Just what's going on?
An attack from the 2.5 million strong.
That phone was just buzzing. Uh-oh. That's never good. I've found that there's it's either horrible news or awesome news. Your phone never does that remix of messages unless something awful happened or something awesome happened. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And that day, that was happening for both people. Think about it. That event was sending out that array of messages, but for positivity and equal negative. So people were like, dude, I just made $10 million on a Reddit stock. And the other guys were like, honey, pack your shit. We got to move out of our house.
We got to go. We're out of here.
What is
some people had the experience of being able to pay off all of their student loans and medical bills, and some people had the experience of living Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people buying motels in the Midwest or some shit. JC, what are you doing, buddy? How you doing over there?
Doing well. I'm just blurry.
Blurry. Just worried about the visuals. All right.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm completely in agreement with all y'all. With both of you, I guess. On, it does suck for those people who, were just starting out their like financial careers. There's not every hedge fund person is a complete douchebag. I'm sure there's probably more good ones than there are bad ones.
Right.
But
I'm trying to look at it like that. I'm trying to look at it from the every guy perspective. And there's dudes that lost everything, and I can't be psyched for that. Like that sucks. The general revolution and the people proving that they can. I mean, Wall Street was making a ton of money off of failure. They were like, this place is failing and we're going to drive it further into the ground. So like, yeah, the overall fight was like, oh, we saved the little guy and it made money in the process. But yeah, it does suck that there's a few casualties on the way. That I don't like. The billionaire yacht, nah, I don't really care. But the guy that
unless it was our yacht.
What?
I said unless it was our yacht.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If we get a TMI yacht one day, I'll be pissed if GameStop takes it out. But Reddit and GameStop take it out.
Oh my god, I named the boat GameStonks.
GameStop. What if one of these guys that made these tens of millions ends up buying the houses from the hedge fund guys that can't, from the bank that foreclosed a hedge fund house? The irony would just be like. That would just top. That's happening. I guarantee you we're going to read a news story that a GameStop Reddit stock buyer made enough money, and it was like that story's happening. I'm just confident. Just like I'm as confident in that as I am in Florida having a ridiculous headline in the next 24 hours.
Florida man
streaks at Tampa Bay. Raymond James during the Super Bowl.
Bring it full circle. That dude
of making money.
Speaking of, that dude did it on purpose to win a freaking bet.
Yep. That's what he says. That no one has verified that yet, but that's the ultimate little guy taking it to the man story. And it does kind of correlate to what happened with Reddit and the stock market. This guy was like, I got 50 grand. I want to turn it into more. I'm taking control of my destiny. So he bet there a prop bet, or the story goes, as the lore goes, as the myth goes, via internet memes. All I've seen is someone post a meme that stated he bet 50 grand on this prop bet that there would be a streaker. And then he somehow finagled his way in to the stadium and made it happen.
Apparently his boy went first and got caught. In order to distract the security guards.
Earned it. He definitely earned it. He definitely is giving his boy like 20 grand or something.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. I mean, more than that.
But those guys
they were both in on it though, because the first, like his buddy tried going first though.
Yeah, that's what Matt said. It was like a decoy.
Yeah, his buddy went first, but planned on getting caught, apparently.
Yeah, but I'm saying if the buddy had made it on the field, he would have been the streaker though. So therefore, Yuri. Sorry, his name is Yuri. I looked this up right now, but it's like for real. He did it through Bovada. And it was 750 odds. Yeah.
Oh, Bovada is an offshore betting site.
Oh, also he told all of his friends to bet on it also.
Oh, that's for the squad, man. That is awesome.
What good is first class if my people can't sit?
Yeah, that bet is never ever happening again.
I was just gonna say that is not offered ever.
Sorry.
No.
Oh, he says he didn't tell which Vegas sports book took the bet though, so it wasn't Bovada, but
it was Bovada. Okay.
Yeah, but he said that he won't tell who took the bet though. But that is crazy that he did that.
Everybody's sticking it to the man lately, huh? This is a week of sticking it to the man. Well, I think we've wrapped it up. You got nothing? We're tapped out here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Make sure you check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all the other major podcast providers. You can hear the audio of our show when we aren't live. You can hear it if you missed the live show. If you do check us out live, every other Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, 6 p.m. Pacific. Also, like JC said earlier at around the halftime mark, patreon.com/the TMI podcast. You guys can throw us a donation monthly. We have Instagram, Facebook, all of those fun social media, Twitter. Go to Linktree/the TMI podcast, and that should hook you guys up with links to iTunes and Twitter and all that stuff. And our Facebook, facebook.com/the TMI podcast. Check us out live when you can. We'd like some more comments next time, guys. Feel free to comment. I know this was like a very specific topic, so next time maybe we'll get a little more action in the comment section. So make sure you check us out Tuesdays, every other Tuesday at 9 p.m. I'd like to thank you guys for listening. I'm Joe.
I'm JC.
Jonesy here. See you in 2 weeks.
See you guys.
Peace.
Jonesy, you're on it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.